afternoon. I know that a lot of you guys will already have heard about this, but I just want to kind of give my take on it. So, Keir Starmer is reducing the opening hours, or aiming and will reduce the opening hours of pubs, and that could end up overflowing into clubs, anywhere that's got a license to sell alcohol, really. Now, there's been so much damage done to the publican industry over the last couple of decades, really, already. You know, I never thought I'd end up getting to an age, me, never thought I'd end up saying, when I was young, oh, and here I am. Yeah, in the 80s and the 90s, I mean the late 80s when I started going out clubbing and stuff like that, and then the 90s, that was a whole new level, you know. It was amazing. It was amazing. But yeah, it probably averaged out at £1.50 a pint, £2 some places, £1 a pint others. I'm sure many of you will be able to remember that. And now it's got to the point where, you know, he'll be saying to her, should we go out? Should we go for a couple of pints? And she'll be thinking, yeah, I'm tempted, but we've not got much in food-wise. No, let's stay in then. You know? That's how it's got. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, £9 a pint. It's ridiculous for something that's, if it's just beer, you know, 95% water for an average of a £5 a pint. It's madness. Madness. So in a country that's already experiencing a really serious cost of living crisis, pubs are struggling more now than ever anyway, with the hours that they're allowed to stay open. And as they slowly try to crush any freedom of speech online, people will generally, and I was going to do a video about this before I knew this was going to happen, because I didn't actually see this coming, if I'm honest. But with the pubs, I mean, not the freedom of speech online, but based off the back of the crushing of the freedom of speech online and the threat of custodial sentences and criminal records and all that bullshit, people would go in, they'd go underground. They would go to, and this is what I was going to say in a previous video, I just didn't get around to doing it, it's just come back. They would go to pubs, or back in the day, taverns, where they would sit in groups and formulate and hatch plans against oppressive governments and local authorities. That's what they would do. So trying to completely and totally obliterate what is essentially a way of life especially for the British working class. You know, it's where we congregate on a Friday night. You know, we've been grafting all week. It's something we look forward to. We look forward to the weekend, because going to the pub and going to clubs was part of that something to look forward to off the back of the grind. Do you know what I mean? And that's been eroded and taken away from us. So that would make, one of my theories is that maybe that's one of the reasons why he's doing this, to slowly shut down the publican industry so that we didn't go underground and away from being offline and discuss issues and form our own little mini councils, if you like, in dark corners of pubs. But all he's doing is making himself look more and more like the socialist prick that he is. And all he's doing is just opening more and more eyes. And that will just drive people even further underground by people going to each other's houses, where you've got even more privacy. It shouldn't have to come to that. I'm hoping it doesn't have to come to that, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Silver linings, they're everywhere. But yeah, they're just slowly ripping the heart out of the working class society, bit by bit, and it's going to come back to bite him in the arse. You know, I can't think of one single dictator in history where it's landed very well for him. You know, it's only gone one way, and there was a much smaller population back then. Are much smaller. So yeah, you know, it's not great. It's not great. And yeah, isn't he a bastard? A proper bastard. He really is. You know, my God. You know, and there's still so many people out there that know so little about him. And you know, it's the whole Savile thing, to mention just one of there's so much, and a lot of this information is getting more and more difficult to find now, as censorship builds up and builds up and builds up. So we need to take full advantage of the fact that we've got this at the moment, and it drives forward even more the urgency to network, to start networking. Because I know that there are loads of you out there that are on your own and live a pretty solitary life. I think most preppers, including myself, are loners by nature. I've always been a loner, always. Never had a problem making friends, never. But I'm a loner, you know, quite happy in my own company. It's less complicated. But I'm also aware of the benefits of having friendships and connections, because there are a lot. We're not really designed to be on our own. And yeah, there was if you look back through videos shortly after that very, very intense chapter of my life, to those of you who were around back then, I've watched a few of those videos and listened to them, and yeah, I was very broken. And it was these two that kept on getting me out. Otherwise I would have just completely have shut the world off. You know, permanently probably. Now that we've got access to everything online. And here I am, you know. I didn't go out during the day. Please don't fall into that trap. Get out there and get networking whilst you can. It's really, really important. I mean, in our little tribe. There's Annie. She lives relatively close to me. It's only a matter of time before I go for a coffee with her and have a chat, you know, finally get to meet her and network in person. That way, if social media as a whole or partly ended up being taken down, or the only way you could access it is with an online ID, digital ID of some sort, which is coming, it's on its way, then I wouldn't have that system of interpersonal, face-to-face network, those connections. So, in summary, oh, and by the way, this estate, have a read of Ruth Smith's comments, because she knows someone that works in the housing sector, and she's a stand-up girl. No reason not to believe her, none. So yeah, the whole socialising thing in pubs and the atmosphere and the music, and you know, trying to cut the whole smoking even outside thing. Just that on its own would be the final nail in the coffin of some pubs. Just that. Telling people they can't smoke outside. You know? Stommer. We won't go down. We won't go down. And the more eyes that are opened, we need this to get worse. We do. We need it to get worse. To open more and more and more eyes. That critical mass thing that I said has begun. It has. It's begun. And but we need to reach more, you know, and it is possible. It's not beyond the realms of reality that we could reach that 99%, and that would be amazing and absolute chaos at exactly the same time. But it'll pass until we find some sort of structure, another way of living, another way of managing, but on a decentralised level. So yeah, it's not good, but then there are silver linings, and those silver linings are encouraging if you really think about it, you know. So yeah, just wanted to just get my 10 pence worth in there and give you my opinions. I've seen so many, I've driven in and out of the Peak District hundreds and hundreds of times, and over the years I've seen these lovely, lovely, beautiful country pubs in small towns and little villages close, one by one by one. The hub of the community gone. But then I've seen some that have thought outside the box, which is what we should be doing, which is what we are doing, which is what we can do. And they've diversified. So they're a pub during certain hours of the day and night, and then in between they operate as a shop. So you can get, because you know, there's the nearest shop's God knows where, you know, and they sell all the basics as a shop, you know, milk, bread, cheese, beans, dog food, all that stuff. Anything that's in demand, common items, they sell in the format of a shop in between being a pub, and they're holding on. But these draconian crazy, nonsensical measures that this bastard is trying to bring in will finish. It'll finish them. It'll finish them. Because the upkeep of buildings, most pubs aren't little, you know. There's a few little tiny ones. There's one in Long Eaton, although I think that's gone now. And that was tiny. And ironically, it was called the Hole in the Wall. And you'll know that. So, yeah, if it does go, if the pub industry does go further down the line, it will be possible to bring it back again. And if you really think about it, and you stay positive yet realistic, you'll know that that is a possibility. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Much love. Ciao for now.